I'm going to go over the state of the program for Baylor baseball since the 2025 season concluded and with a 4-3 loss to Oklahoma State despite a 3-1 lead. And I'm going to just address the elephant in the room. When Davenport was in the game, he was up 2-1 against a batter. The ball clearly did not hit the bat. The umpire called it strike 3. Then they reviewed it and they said no. And they proceeded to walk the guy in. Just tough. And the last 2 runs scored by Oklahoma State were by errors. But that guy, like that, after the walk, that hitter scored a run, I believe. But you get the whole point. It was extended. It could have been like 2 outs at that point. Still, you can't beat yourself mentally. And I'm not just talking about that one thing lead to another. I'm saying errors in general. And I'm going to just go over the Big 12 standings real fast. And granted, not every team played every game due to weather. So, West Virginia 19-9, Kansas 20-10, TCU 19-11, Arizona 18-12, Arizona State 18-12, Kansas State 17-13, Oklahoma State 15-12, Cincinnati 16-14, Texas Tech 13-17, Baylor 13-17, Houston 12-17, BYU 10-20, UCF 9-21, and Utah 8-22. Baylor only really won 3 series all year long in the Big 12, which was a long time between the UCF was the very last series of the year, and they won that 2 out of 3. The other ones were against Arizona. That's a good 2 wins when you think about it. And it was against Utah, the worst team in the league. And I'm just going to say the Big 12 is not some amazing league in terms of rankings. Oh no, there's only like one projected team to be a host, and that's TCU. Maybe West Virginia becomes a host down the line, but I already knew for Baylor baseball, in order to make the NCAA tournament, they had to win the conference tournament or close to it, depending on other stuff around them, because their RPI was in the 60s. But you get the whole picture. Just rough. And in the midweek, they only lost 1 game all year. And in the Big 12, they did not get swept. That's better than last year. And you could tell by the overall record, it's better than a year ago. You know what's crazy is some people want Mitch Thompson gone. And I got news for you. That he's not going to be gone. Let's be honest. There are bigger problems at Baylor University. Baseball's not one of them. It's not the bigger problem here. It's equestrian. I hate to point fingers, but that's the only truth. Women's tennis is a problem as well. But you get the whole point. And you really want to fire a guy that literally improved the roster enough that he made the Big 12 tournament this year, unlike the last 2 years. I know they threw away some series. I know. But in order to think about making the NCAAs one day, you got to start winning to gain conference tournaments and then win more conference games in the regular season. And they needed to finish stronger. And that's the problem for the year, if you could tell by the stretch. So, yeah, they needed win more. They struggled down the stretch some. And some of the guys as well. I know at one point, Hunter Simmons only had like 1 hit out of 31 at bats. And yet, against Oklahoma State, he had 2 hits. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen in all this. And I'll go over how many players are they could potentially lose. And who knows about the MLB draft and transfer portal and the JUCOs ruling, because JUCOs could get technically another year. I just don't know whether or not they're going to have them. And Baylor baseball does bring in 9 guys in total, like 3 infielders, 2 catchers, 2 right-handed pitchers, and an outfielder, and two two-way players. And all this. I just wanted to go. That was like released back on November 15th of 2024. Now I'm just going to go over the number of seniors Baylor baseball has, and that's 16 of those, but 9 of those went to JUCO. Maybe they have another year of eligibility if they want to do it. That's the thing. West Virginia has 8 seniors, but 1 JUCO. Kansas has 14 seniors. 1 went to NIA, 2 went to JUCO. Kansas State has 8 seniors and 1 went to JUCO. TCS 3 seniors, 9 went to JUCO. Arizona State 8 seniors by 2 JUCOs. Cincinnati 14 seniors and 2 JUCOs. Texas Tech 5 seniors and 1 JUCO. Houston 9 seniors and 1 JUCO. Oklahoma State has 3 seniors, but 2 of those were JUCO guys. So that's crazy. They could get better for next year. And UCF has 9 seniors, no JUCOs. BYU 9 seniors, 3 JUCOs though. And Utah has 7 seniors and 3 JUCOs. I do think they do need to add a few starting type pitchers. And obviously get some infield players that could contribute right away. I know I like the freshman class is really they're good, but I would rather count on transfers. And I know there are some guys waiting in the wings that could step up down the line. And it's important to retain some of the bigger names on the roster, like Reebok, Travis Sanders. But that's just naming a few guys, but you could see, and they obviously the pitching did improve from last year, and that was needed. And it's and Gabe Craig was unbelievable in the bullpen as a closer. Prior to this game, .59 ERA, 47 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 30 in the third innings. That's wild thing in terms of dominance. And wild thing is like the nickname from the movie Major League. That's how dominant he was. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And obviously some certain seniors, they're definitely done. No matter what, like Enzo Apodaca. Regardless. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens from here. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 or more. So my money to of course like a video, comment video, really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. And I do think they're going to add some players through the portal. It's more like how many guys, to be honest. A few pitchers, get 4 starters in terms of like fielding positions, whether it's in the infield or outfield. And they definitely need to be better at first base on defense. They have to get better. At times that was a problem, if you couldn't tell. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the offseason. And same thing goes for all these Big 12 teams. And the Big 12 was not like an amazing league. Only like a few ranked, like 2 ranked teams, and they're not even top 16, top 15 good. Just barely in the poll. And I know West Virginia at one point was like number 16. But you get the whole point. It's not like the SEC and baseball. We're going to have to wait and see what happens in the offseason.